Now the remembrance of Adam, and especially of the function of Adam as a mirror, brings us to the next of the Sufi thoughts. Every time we gather, we've been invoking one of these 10 Sufi thoughts, and today we've come to the 8th Sufi thought, and that is, there is one object of praise, the beauty which uplifts the heart of its worshippers through all aspects, from the seen to the unseen. One object of praise. There's an expression in Arabic, وَلِلَّهِ الْحَمْدِ, to God is all hamd. And in one sense you can understand that phrase to mean that that praise should only be sent toward the one God, that the praise is due only to the one God. And that is one meaning of the expression. But another meaning would be this, that all praise, any time that there is a gesture of praise, a thought of glorification, a sense of exaltation and sending out of the spirit of awe and ecstasy in the encounter with something beautiful, all of that accrues to, all of that goes out to its true object, whatever we might imagine in our limited perspective. Its true object is always the one. All thanksgiving, all praise, all glorification naturally goes to the one, because what we are thankful for is always from the one, by the one, of the one. And so this thought reminds us of the significance of beauty in our life. Now, it certainly rings true, I think, on reflection, that when we find ourselves in a depression, there's an absence of beauty. Now, is beauty absent, or is it that our mind is not tuned to see it? Whereas if our mind is tuned to see it, whenever there is beauty, there is joy. So the joy naturally arises in the presence of beauty. And that might be at a certain juncture in the path, that might be a kind of very surface level of beauty. In other words, one is delighted to have just the kind of automobile one wanted to have. One buys it and enjoys it, and so one's thrilled by that because it appeals to one's sense of beauty. Or a human partner, one looks for a human partner that one considers attractive, and to be around that person is very pleasant because one enjoys that beauty. So that's one level of enjoying beauty, and certainly that's part of the human experience of all of us. But if our sense of contemplation of beauty is able to deepen, then it's not only the surface that we see. We might see more and more, and in fact, we might even not be so preoccupied with what appears on the surface. For instance, if one has come to love someone because of an initial attraction by the beauty of their face, but if you really love that person, well, the face might change in the course of time. But you might find that the love has to do now with the personality. The personality is beautiful. Or it could even go further. The love is for the beauty of the soul itself. So you see deeper and deeper. And that means that you're actually tracing beauty deeper, farther back to its lair. It's like tracking an animal back to its lair, following the footprints of beauty to its source. And that's really the adventure of mysticism, is to trace the beauty of the visible world back to the invisible world. Follow the footsteps. So that's what Moshe is emphasizing here when he says, through all aspects, from the seen to the unseen. And so it involves a kind of ability to bear witness on deeper and deeper levels. This is part of the Adamic legacy, because Adam and the human being is to represent the divine intention. And the Hadith Qudsi tells us, Allahu Jamil wa yuhibbal Jamal. God is beautiful and loves beauty. So our very task as human beings is to bear witness, for God's sake, to the divine beauty as it's revealed. The whole purpose of this universe is to reveal that hidden beauty, and our work here is to see it and know it and delve into it on ever deepening levels, so that we're able to retrace the path from the outermost dimension of beauty right back to its ancient original source. One story that expresses this is told by Maulana Rumi in his Masnavi, and that is the story of a contest that took place between two rival nations that each claimed to have the best artists. And so they decided to see who really did have the most exceptional craftspeople. And so a room was prepared in which there were two walls face to face, and between the two walls was a curtain. And each nation was given a wall to decorate. And they had a number of days to do that. And so the nation that was so skilled in painting painted a marvelous scene, tremendous skillfulness in ornamentation. Every detail, every balance of hue and tone in color, all was achieved with utmost perfection. And this group of artists felt absolute confidence that they would win the contest. Then the curtain was drawn up, and everyone looked what was on the other side, especially the judge, who was the king. And the judge looked and saw on the other side, there on the other side was everything that had been painted by those expert painters. And in fact, the judge also saw his own face there, because that other group of artists didn't paint a painting, they polished a mirror. So you see here the two aspects of our Adamic nature: mimesis, reflection, to reflect the divine beauty by polishing the mirror of the heart. But also on the other side of the room, there was the expressive aspect. And these two facets can also be seen in the scriptural verse which says, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and in themselves." So the showing of the signs on the horizons means that we have to make ourselves translucent mirrors that reflect purely the beauty on the horizons, the beauty of all that we see in front of us. And in themselves means that we have to qualify ourselves with the divine qualities, witness them, but also enact them, also recreate our lives through what we witness when we behold the fullness of the beauty that the divine being has brought forth.